go ahead and continue to move over to the MCU as well. If you thought we only had one casting announcement this week, you're wrong, guys, because the Marvel is just like, here's more doses of information. This one is actually going to be in regards to their upcoming MCU series on Disney Plus in She-Hulk. This comes to us from Deadline.com, guys, reporting to us here that Tatiana Maslany has landed the title role in the She-Hulk Marvel series. It says exclusive. After tapping Kate Coiro as director, Marvel Studios looks to have found its star to take over the title role in its She-Hulk series. Sources tell Deadline that Orphan Black star Tatiana Maslany is the choice to play the title character in Marvel's She-Hulk series for Disney Plus. Deadline broke on Tuesday that Coiro would direct several episodes, including the plot for the series, and now the show has its actress for the highly coveted role. It says Marvel didn't immediately return a call for comment. It does say here that Rick and Morty writer Jessica Gao has already been tapped to lead the writer's room as well. So, let's see here. It does say best known for her Emmy-winning role in Orphan Black. Maslany is coming off of her highly lauded role in HBO's Perry Mason opposite Matthew Rhys. On the film side, she's also been in the Lionsgate pick Stronger and Destroyer. She appeared on Broadway opposite of Bryan Cranston and Tony Goldwyn in the 2018's Network. So I got to ask you, Stuart, are you familiar with Tatiana Maslany? Have you had the opportunity to check her out in Orphan Black or the Perry Mason show by any chance?
Nope. Actually, yeah, this article was the first time I had heard about her, if I'm being honest.
Ooh, really? Okay, well, let me introduce you to Tatiana Maslany. I really enjoyed her work. I did check her out in the HBO Max series, Perry Mason. She does play like a pastor or like an evangelical pastor, like she leads this huge church in the town and things like that. There are some shady things certainly going on there as well. She definitely has some difficulties in her own personal life on that show as well. I really love what Tatiana Maslany wind up bringing to the role. The one role that I did not see her in that I know that she's most notably known for is certainly her time on Orphan Black. I did hear a ton about it. This was like my introduction to the idea of somebody playing multiple versions of themselves on a role. Like I always heard so much about, like, always loved what Tom Cavanaugh was always able to do sort of as Wells for the Flash series. But Maslany, Tatiana Maslany just does an incredible job just like that on her show on Orphan Black, having to play several different roles and things like that. So from the episodes that I have watched, because I've only watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of Orphan Black, I truly love this woman. I think she's absolutely brilliant, so incredibly beautiful. I think she's probably one of my newest Hollywood crushes, honestly. But I think she would knock this role out of the park. I was so impressed in the things that I have seen from her, from Perry Mason and the short stint on Orphan Black that I did watch. And I think I feel like Marvel is just so good at their casting and just knows how to just land these people for these amazing roles. And to see her portray the character in Jennifer Walters, who is the cousin to Bruce Banner, I think her and Mark Ruffalo are definitely going to have some fun on set. So even though you don't know who Tatiana Maslany is very much, Stuart, how does at least the idea of them having directors and now somebody officially cast for the role get you excited for the upcoming She-Hulk series?
Extremely. I didn't even know that this was a show until they announced it. I didn't know this was a show that Disney would even be allowed to do, because I know there's some weird issues when it comes to the Hulk being like technically owned by Universal or something like that. I don't know the full details on that, but yeah, because of that, I thought we would never get a She-Hulk in the MCU, but now it's like not only are we getting a She-Hulk in the MCU, we're getting a She-Hulk television series, and even after it was announced, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I still have kind of that I'll believe it when I see it mindset. But now that I see that they're casting for She-Hulk herself, they already got like an actress to play her. And they already got like writers and people working on the show right now. I'm excited to see what direction they take this show. And you say that she plays like multiple characters on Orphan Black?
Yeah, she does. She has I don't want to give too much away because I'm trying to get into the thick of things, but it very much feels like a mystery. And she's kind of coming across these people that look like her. And so she has no idea why that is as of right now. Like again, I've only been like 2 or 3 episodes deep into it. So it's definitely a gigantic mystery, but she does in fact play multiple people. So different accents, different personalities. I mean, she definitely can be all over the board for sure.
Okay. I asked because like the She-Hulk comic books definitely had like a funny like tone to them because they like She-Hulk herself would break the fourth wall constantly. And so one thing I was always curious about after they announced She-Hulk is what kind of direction they would take with her
Mhm.
character. Would they want to play it straight or would they want to have like a lot of fun with it, like kind of make it more like the original comic book? So if they do that and she's a character that's played multiple characters on the TV show, I would assume that means she'd probably be able to have that flexibility of being able to play her character straight but then take a moment to address the audience and then we have like a funny fourth wall scene or something like that.
I mean, you definitely might be onto something there, Stuart. I mean, I didn't even really consider that idea, especially based off of how the comic books used to go. But you're absolutely right in regards to that. Considering the fact that they picked up the Rick and Morty writer to pen the scripts for this series, it does kind of bring the question like, what is the tone gonna be for this? Like, is it gonna be comedic? Is it gonna be a little bit all over the place? Because she's also a lawyer, right? So is it gonna be courtroom drama at times? Like, how are they certainly gonna break down? Then you got to include, action and stuff involved. So just because somebody has written Rick and Morty doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be solely comedic, because we have seen, regular TV writers go on to do some great Marvel movies of their own. So I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, but I do like that you brought that up. I mean, maybe that is why they wind up bringing up Tatiana Maslany, somebody who does have that flexibility to kind of do any type of genre that's maybe thrown at her on the whim. So I think you might be onto something there. And I am glad you brought up too the idea of the fact that we're even getting ourselves a She-Hulk movie, because I don't know how the rights really worked when it comes to the Hulk. I know like Universal, if I'm not mistaken, had like distribution rights to them. So like if Marvel put out a movie, they would have to rely on Universal to go ahead and send it out there. And I don't necessarily know if Marvel was really up for that or not. So maybe there were some certain characters they were allowed to use, maybe certain characters they weren't, or maybe some of the rights wind up going back to Marvel. I'm not quite sure, but I'm glad that you brought that up though.
Mhm. Yeah, it could also be that maybe those rights only go to the Hulk himself. It doesn't really count for like his side characters that came afterwards.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna have to do some extra research in regards to that. But I will say this: I feel like because of the fact that we now have a writer, we now have a director, we now have or at least to do a few episodes. Now that we have our star officially cast, I feel like this is further along than a lot of other like Marvel shows, if you will. Like I know that they've got Winter Soldier that's currently filming. We've got WandaVision, if I'm not mistaken, that is currently wrap production. We've got Loki, which I don't even know if Loki finished filming or not, but I do remember them having having some set photos. This is probably like the next Marvel series that I feel it's pretty far along, right? Because Miss Marvel hasn't been cast, Moon Knight hasn't been cast, and things like that also. So I'm wondering if maybe we get She-Hulk a lot earlier than maybe we even anticipated we would get this series. Not that they're rolling film already, but the fact that they've got a lot of key people in place makes me feel like they're probably either ahead of schedule or they've moved things around, and we might get this earlier than we assumed.
Yeah, could also be that maybe during quarantine, it's like, well, we can't work on shooting anything that we have now, so let's work on some future projects. At least have it all written down so we're ready to go when the schedule comes up. At least that's what I'd be doing if I was in charge of Marvel.
I mean, hey, right? I mean, you can't film anything. Let's start filling up some of these roles. At least still being proactive during this pandemic, because we have been asking ourselves, like, Marvel, why is everything so quiet on your end? Like DC's just putting out a ton of news. Let's get some information here, Marvel. Marvel. So this week definitely was our Marvel week for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, definitely let us know your thoughts. Not that Tatiana Maslany has officially been cast as She-Hulk. What do you think about the casting? Have you had the opportunity to check out some of her work? And if so, what did you certainly think of it, guys? So definitely go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below.